South Korea is now less than a week away from the third launch of its homegrown space rocket, Nuri. Now, based on the two test flights, Nuri this time takes on its first ever mission with real satellites on board. Our Kyung-eun has a story.
The third launch of the Nuri rocket will use the same rocket using the first and second launches. The country's first ever homegrown spacecraft, Nuri, meaning world in Korean. It's a three-stage rocket developed to put satellites into low orbit. The first and second stages are the boosters that help the rocket blast through the Earth's atmosphere. The third stage contains satellites and it will release them at the target altitude. And that is where we find the significance of this third launch. Previously, Nuri was topped with dummy satellites or a verification satellite, all meant to test the rocket's capabilities. But this time it will be carrying 8 satellites on actual scientific missions. That's why the third launch is dubbed the Nuri's landmark, first mission with first passengers on board. Next generation satellite, the second, is the main satellite among the 8. It operates on solar energy and needs a particular orbit to get the energy it needs. And the entire launch process is tailored for its transportation. First, the blast-off time. It is set for 6:24 p.m., unlike 4 p.m. in the previous launches. That's precisely calculated in order to put the main satellite into that orbit. This is why it is not an option to change the launch time like in the first launch. Any next attempt will have to come on the new date at the same time. Next, the target altitude. It is set at 550 kilometers, just high enough for the satellite to conduct its mission, unlike 700 kilometers set for previous capacity test flights. This time, Nuri is also offering a better service. It's directly taking the passengers, the satellites, to their destinations. The main satellite will be separated first, then the rest every 20 seconds. All this will take 923 seconds. That's a lot shorter than the 2 weeks it took during the previous launch when the verification satellite carried the other satellites and released them. Lastly, this will mark a critical first step for South Korea's private-led space endeavors, with Hana Aerospace, which will be in charge of future launches of Nuri on site for technology transfer. Kyung-eun, Arirang News.